consistently attract soulmate clients, begin showing up on brand, monetizing on your calling. Welcome all spiritual coaches, leaders, healers, light workers, and practitioners to a show that turns you on in your business and amplifies your magnetism. I'm host, catalyst, and spiritual business coach Rosalind Fung, and I'm here to journey with you into the juicy and help you discover where the real gaps are. Ignite your mindset and soul with strategies and systems as each episode takes you to the sweet spot that activates your soulgasmic business. Enjoy this light language activation as we begin to magnetize and monetize. Hello, my loves. Welcome to Activate Your Soulgasmic Business. I'm Rosalind Fung, and I'm so grateful that you're tuning in to this episode. Today, we are talking about why dumping your marketing talk is the fastest way to 100K. So if you enjoy this episode, if you find value in it, please do share it. You can take a screenshot of it and shout me out on social media. It is Rosalind Fung Coaching, Bold Sexy Warrior on Facebook, and on Instagram, it is Bold Sexy Warrior. So I just want to check in with you. You know, the aftermath of COVID, things are starting to shift again. And on the outside, many of us might look like we're kicking ass. But on the inside, you could be experiencing uncertainty, self-doubt, and imposter syndrome. The pandemic and its aftermath has us turned upside down, questioning ourselves and the world, and needing to adjust and pivot. In this process, we find ourselves in new roles that make us feel like we are starting all over again and even a little bit lost. You feel me? Is this resonating with you? This is why my business partners and I at Flourishing Life Coaching are delivering to you the Flourishing Summit 2021. Together, we will help you gain confidence to feel purposeful again and thriving in your life, relationships, and business. We have world-renowned speakers and coaches, high-level leaders such as Dr. Carolyn Leaf and Zach Mercurio, who has worked with Simon Sinek. All right, enough said. So this is a 3-day epic soul and strategy summit where I am so honored to be guiding and facilitating intimate live group coaching sessions as well. We start on October 5th, and you can join us at theflourishingtribe.com/summit. You can go to the link in the show notes to grab your ticket. All right, my loves, now on to today's episode. Let me ask you, do you find yourself like marketing frustrating and it never seems to get you the results you want when you have put so much time, energy, and efforts and maybe even money into all your marketing? What are the do's and don'ts of marketing? And what are the proven strategies to get to 100K? I bet you're leaning in now. And this is going to be a really fun episode. I'm really excited to have my special guest and my friend and my mastermind peer, James Lam, with us today. James is the owner of Lam, Look Ahead Marketing. That's really smart. He uses his last name and then makes acronyms with it. James helps heart-centered entrepreneurs discover their superpowers and then use those gifts to shape their businesses into change-making enterprises via his 12-week signature program, Superpowered Business Success. James also built this successful franchise, Learn Photography Company, with over 5,000 students at 10 studios across Canada. I think James knows a little bit about what he's doing. Do you agree? And when James isn't busy helping turn business folks into business superheroes, he can be found zipping around Calgary, Alberta on his motorcycle, Swaying it out as a part-time fitness instructor. I think it would be so much fun to be part of James' fitness classes too. Or enjoying family life with his 2 children and wife Jana, his best souvenir ever from his time living abroad down under. James' aspiration is to support thousands of entrepreneurs and have his message become a household one. Welcome, James.
Thank you, Roz. It's so good to be here. I'm excited, and this is awesome, by the way. So thanks for having me.
Oh, I'm so excited too. So, James and I met, to those of you that are tuning in right now, we met in a mastermind that we're part of together. And James, I just have to say, I feel like you're like my soul brother. I'm like, you have a very similar energy as me. You're always cheering everybody on. You are just totally yourself and you make everyone feel so relaxed. It is not a stiff neck mastermind. I mean, not that like anybody in there really is, but it's like you're very serious about your business, and at the same time you can have such a fun, relaxed approach about it, and I really appreciate that about you. You're always cheering everybody on, and you're literally making me laugh behind the screen, so thank you for being you.
Oh, I appreciate you as well. And let me set a precursor to what we're talking about. You know, I'm comfortable with myself because I have been uncomfortable trying to be somebody else for many years. Right. And so the mastermind, what shows up is really James. And, some of you who are listening, sometimes you show up nervous, sometimes you show up anxious. And even Rosalind, I have to admit something, even on this call before, I was like, ooh, I can feel myself getting a little bit stressed. And I'm like, James, just to be yourself, you got this. And it makes all the difference. Does that make sense, Ros?
It 1000% makes all the difference. Yeah, even the mastermind is like sometimes intimidating for me because there are 7 and 8 figure figure businesses there, and I'm just like, oh. And I always say, if you're gonna join something, do not be the smartest person in the room because you
Yes.
just absorb so much. And
Yes.
I love the beautiful container of this mastermind.
Well, the other thing that I think we really appreciate is we really start understanding what we're strong at and where we can learn, right? So,
That's
for
right.
example, in that mastermind, Rosalind, you and I are the feely, energetic, markety, I'm so thrilled to be here kind of people. And there are those people who build on the structure of marketing or the structure of business or how to structure things. That you and I, that is not our strength at the moment, and that's totally okay, right? That's totally
Totally.
okay, 100%, and that is part of you're like you said, not being the smartest person in the room. And yes, there are those moments when you're like, oh, I'm the smartest person in the room. I love this. And the minute you realize you're the smartest person in the room, if you're an entrepreneur or business person or trying to learn something, you need to get out of that room.
1000%. And I love that you shared that. I also think we're the only 2 Asian people in the, in
Yep.
the
Yep.
mastermind. But
It's true.
I,
Yes, you're absolutely right, Rosalind. And this is the interesting thing as well. And again, a precursor to what's going to happen. My other half is Caucasian. Like, she's got red hair. That's
ditto.
how
Yeah.
Caucasian she is, right? And so our kids, who are 6 and 3, they're mixed. And one of my missions that I've had to find coverage somehow doing is to become a great role model for my kids, right? And
Beautiful.
and I think that's really key, especially during this moment. I know we're getting off topic, but during the Asian hate matters and Black Lives Matter, is to really show
Yes.
them what we can do, or what I can do, anyways.
Yes. 1000%. Amen, brother. I totally resonate with that. And I wanted to also bring back the point to those listeners who are resonating with, oh, James and Roz I'm kind of more like them. Like you're the feely, energetic people. That's your personality. That's the way you vibe and show up. And then in business, there's the other people who are more logical, more strategic, more structured in their primary way of showing up. And neither one of these ways are better. they are just different and they're actually complementary. In fact, my husband
Yes.
is the logical, structured, grounded person. And it's the reason why we work so well together because we need all of these kind of different energies. And even in my Flourishing Life coaching tribe, as us in the FAS founding members, that's absolutely the different personalities and energies that create the alchemy of us. We do need that. So if I know that many people in business, especially light workers and healers and coaches who are more touchy-feely, sometimes we feel less than.
Yes.
And I don't know if you feel that, like James, that sometimes comes up for you, but I know sometimes that can come up for me, especially in our mastermind. I'm so intimidated. I'm like, oh my God, I'm like, I don't say the strategies like I wouldn't. Yeah, I take so much value from it. And
Rosalind,
then I'm like,
hey, Rosalind, I have good news for you. You're human. Good for you. Right?
That's
and,
right.
And everybody who's listening on the call, like we're human. And this is something that I get as well. Rosalind gets it. I get it. This is part of being human, right? And the other thing is if you're a light worker, if you're a healer, and by the way, that's my tribe. And
It
I don't
sure
know
is.
why this has happened, but I am in gratitude for it. So I tend to work with, for example, I have a couple angel empowerment practitioners in my group. I
I love
have
that.
someone who teaches Reiki. I have a couple money mastery people. I have a couple NLP people, right? Neuro linguistic programming. And so that tends to be my crowd, and I'm thrilled about it. Now, this is what I was going to say. So if this is you, just listen up for a second. We tend to focus on our weaknesses, and that's something I want to get you out of. Okay, so I'm not saying you can't address them. Like for in school, if you get 5 A pluses and a C, what do you focus on? You focus on the C, right? You focus on the single problem, quote unquote, that you have, and so you associate that success has to be hard work. Success has not to be fun, and hard work has to be something you don't want to do, right? And so what happens is I see a lot of healers and light work, and what happens is they focus on where they're weak. So they try to outstructure their gifts. They try to hide the
Yes.
person that they are, the beautiful person that they are, in their marketing because they're like, so and so marketing guru says I have to say this in 6.5 seconds, and if I don't say it in 6.5 seconds, then then it's never going to work. Which is, and I'm going to tell you this right now, which is false. Okay, that is false. And Ross, can I do a mic drop moment here, even though I don't have a
I
mic?
was literally going to be like, I want to say mic drop to everything that you just said, for sure.
All right.
Yes, please.
Here's your mic drop moment where this is what I struggled with for many years and what I've built teaching around and why people come join me. You can build, actually, no, let me rephrase that. Not you can. You to get to 100K, you need to build a business around your gifts and your superpowers. Period. Okay? So whenever I hear, so for example, the other day I was talking to someone and she was like, well, I'm getting this person to look on my webinar. I'm getting this person to do my 5-day challenge. I'm getting this person to do my tech. I'm like, where are you in all of this? Right? I'm not saying that you shouldn't get help. That's not at all what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you need to take the best information and integrate it into the person that you are, right, Roz? Because you and I get,
1000%.
you and I get, how many times do we get feedback for something? Like so many times. Right? So many times. And so one of the things is that we have to be able to take that feedback and integrate, and that's all being part of building the business around you and who you are and what you love to do, and how your personality, what you bring to the world, like all of these things. And that, my friends, is how you're going to make your first 100K, not by following systems, but by building a system around you that actually works.
Mic drop. And James, we are so aligned because first of all, you're all about superhero, superpower. I'm all about Wonder Woman and showing up as your inner Wonder Woman, unleashing that. So it's just, yes, we're so aligned. And then the
Hey,
way
Roz,
you shared
this is our goal.
yes,
Our goal is to get big enough where Marvel comes and sues us.
that's right.
Okay, our goal.
Okay, no. Cancel and delete that. I'm not manifesting that. But I hear what you're saying. And essentially, James, what you're saying is the way I say it's always about energy and mindset and then strategies. Yes, strategies are important. But what I've noticed is, and this is why our marketing really flops, this is why we need to dump the marketing talk, is if you're just doing the strategy, you're not working it as you working it. It's like you're just putting the strategies out in place, but I don't see you and the alchemy of you and your personality, and I don't feel your energy. It's a total flop. Energy is everything. And it's the reason why, James, I was quite energetically attracted to you in all the people in the mastermind. You stood out the most to me.
Thanks, Rosalind. Let me address what you just said, and let me just repeat what you said. We need to show up mindset and energetically, and add the strategy, right? So you're kind of talking about both. And let me see if I can get this straight, okay? Because I want to talk about a story here, and
we'll go into commercial and then we'll leave people hanging on the clip.
Okay, this is a good one. You want to hear this?
Yeah. Okay.
It's awesome.
So then what we'll do is we'll go into commercial. And then when we come back, James, we'll have you share your story. How's that sound?
Sounds great.
Okay.
A conscious lifestyle for a mindful life. Om Times Radio. IOM FM. Being a radio host on IOM FM allows you to build your show on a rich platform with the power of the internet to fulfill your outreach goals and connect with a very specialized and global online audience, unlimited by time and distance. Om Times Radio will provide you with web relevance, a recognizable conscious brand, and with the standard of excellence that has accompanied every single Om Times endeavor. Host your show with Om Times Radio Network.
Grab a cup of tea or a glass of wine and tune in for Inspired Conversations with publisher Linda Joy on Tuesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern. Linda creates sacred space for leading female luminaries, empowering authors, heart-centered female entrepreneurs, coaches, and healers. A soulful venue where guests openly share the fears and obstacles they've overcome, wisdom and lessons learned, and the personal journey that led them to the transformational work they do in the world. Inspired Conversations to empower you on your path to authentic, soulful living.
My loves, you know you're here as a soul-led leader to transform this world through the sharing of your passions and gifts. You are here to be in your warrior of light and align your business with your highest self. I'm Rosalind Fung of the show Activate Your Soulgasmic Business. Let's elevate your business to the next expansive level. I invite you to flow into a business soul alignment discovery call with me at rosalindfung.com. That's ROSALYN, fun as in have some fun, FUNG, and let's see how I can best hold space for you to align your highest self, magnetize your dream clients, and monetize on your soul mission. I can't wait to connect.
COVID-19, brought to you by CDC and the Ad Council.
Do you feel like your emotions are all over the place? That's normal during this abnormal time. There are a number of ways to cope. Maintain a healthy routine, get enough sleep, eat nutritious food, and exercise at least 30 minutes each day. Schedule some time to talk with a friend or family member. And remember, you can always take a few deep breaths to feel more centered.
Find more self-care and coping tips at coping-19.org.
All right, welcome back, loves. So what we were just jamming about before we went into commercial was the importance of energy first. Your energy introduces you, and your energy is your vibe. And that's based on your beliefs, your mindset, and how you're showing up, and then we implement strategies after that. And James, you were going to share a story with regards to this.
I was going to share a story in the commercial, and I've lost the story, Roz. I'm sorry. It's gone. I'm just joking. And this is
how organic it is. It's like,
I had coffee
I love
and
it.
it's gone now. All right, let me see if I can describe this out. So you're absolutely right, and this is one of the best things I can tell you if you are a light healer and trying to build a business, is if you just have strategy. Okay, if you have mindset and a broken strategy, you actually may win. Okay, you may actually like make sales and build a business. If it's reversed and you have a great strategy and no mindset, it's never going to work. Period.
And
So
yes, and I'd
go
like
ahead.
to like add to that. That was me, like totally energy, totally have the mindset, have no strategies other than I'm just so happy to share like whatever I've got going on, what's happening in my life, and la la la. And that I was able to really attract this old tribe very quickly on social media. And of course, I'm going to put a little asterisk sign here and say that was 4.5 years ago when I started my coaching business. And the algorithms are different now. However, I don't think what I'm saying changes. Now, as you, it is really important though, because this won't sustain you if you're just doing the mindsets and energy
Yes.
thing and then not have the strategies. Because I'm saying it from a place of experience and making lots of mistakes and not putting in or learning the strategies. That this only sustains you so much, and then it looks like you're a hashtag hot mess behind the scenes.
Yes.
And you're
Yes.
driving your VAs crazy, your team crazy, because you're doing everything like last minute and you're throwing spaghetti on the wall hoping it'll stick. I've been there. So the strategy is eventually very important to
Yeah,
implement.
let me just tell this, if it's okay, Roz. I'm going to tell the story about
1000%.
so this is what I work with. It's funny because this is what I work with with people who join me, right? Yes, we work on strategy. Yes, we work on marketing. The real tool is validation and self-confidence. So there's a part in the course
Yes.
about week 4 where we talk about, I call it a Superstart program. You can call it a pilot, a beta, a founders club, whatever it is. There's a certain way you do it. And this is the result, right? People get thousands of dollars in sales for their courses or for their services without even building it. Like it's worked every single time it's implemented correctly. And we're talking $2,500 all the way to $28,000. And I've seen it across the gamut. And this is with no sales funnels, no 5-day challenges, no webinars, no workshops, no fancy like marketing ads, no fancy Facebook ads, like two small lists. And it always works. And it is basically putting your mindset, your spirit, and your courage first before strategy. And that is how powerful you can be when you have the right mindset, courage, and strategy.
Yes. Breathe that in. Breathe what James just shared, because that is so much truth right there. You're brilliant, James. I know you have a system that you have discovered and implemented, and it's been proven. So I think we've been really clear about what not to do in marketing. However, are there more things that you would like to share to make sure, like, please don't do this. This is like a big X.
Yes. So there's a few things here. Okay. So one of the let's see if we can make it really general. And by the way, you just said I'm brilliant. I'm not brilliant. I've just made tons of mistakes and learned from them, just like you have, Roslyn. Right? Truth.
The brilliancy is in learning from those mistakes.
All right. This is the truth, right? And this isn't everything that you do. So please listen up. And I kind of foreshadowed it at the beginning, but I would like to empower you to build a business around you. Let's take this down on a really aggregate level. Okay. One of the things that we can do is use the right words. Use words that are understandable and use words that are you. Okay. One of the challenges in marketing that I see all the time is people feel insecure, and so they use a lot of technical terms in what they do. or they try to mislead people. For example, at a marketing event, I was like, "What do you do?" And they're like, "I change lives." And Rosalind, there's nowhere but downhill from that point, right? People lean in
Yep.
and they're like, "You change lives," and then they're like, "Yeah, I'm a life insurance agent," and you're kind of like, there's that moment, and there's nothing wrong with life insurance because it's important, but there's a moment where you're kind of like, I feel like I've been had. Does that make sense? So we just need to make sure that the right words reflect you. And let me give you another example, okay? So we had one of my angel empowerment practitioners. Okay, she's out in Vancouver, and for a long time she had marketing speak done by another coach. She had marketing speak that really was very hollow, and it kind of hid what she did, right? So she was kind of like, yeah, I help you find the best path for your life using a bunch of my tools. Now that could be anything. That could be, you could be a life insurance investor or life insurance salesperson, for example, doing that, right? But she spoke to the angels, and so and she was putting up zeros across the board for earnings, and then so she came into mind, and we're like, let's just let it flow and be really organic. And you know what she said, Rosalind? She said, I help people get back to happy by telling them what the angels want them to know. So right away, her words and what she did with no hiding, and she ended up closing $7,000 that week, right?
Oh my
Just by
God, yes. We
saying,
coach so much like this. We coach so much the same. I like
right?
what I'm really hearing is what you're doing as you're holding space for your clients is you're really listening as a coach. And
Yes.
here's the thing, like it's so cool to hear about like hear how people say things, how they deliver it. And I'm like, right there, that's exactly how you say it. That is your tagline. That is, and they're like, but I didn't. I'm like, that's you. And
Yeah.
that is so true. That's what sells.
You know what? And this is on an emotional level, and you would understand this better than I do, Rosalind. But when she said those words, she broke down and cried, and that's okay. And I'm tearing up just thinking about it, right? Because it's powerful. All of a sudden, there's that moment where we don't have to hide, and that's one of
Yes.
the best things I can tell you. You asked for advice on what I would do, and that's one of the things I can tell you right away. I'm talking to Rosalind and people who are listening because this is so important. Please don't hide, and please don't be ashamed of the person who you are and what you do, right? We tend to price things based on an hourly basis. So for example,
Yes.
right, I had somebody who she does Reiki. We're talking about her, right? And I'm
Yep.
working with her right now. And she's like, but I can't price it any higher because people who certify in Reiki charge this amount. And I can't be priced too high. And then we had a conversation around, but you do more than just Reiki. You change lives, and you can bring so many more skill sets in, right? And that's one of the biggest things I can tell you is don't hide like she was hiding. Don't hide behind qualifications, certifications, and the lack thereof. Be bold, like Rosalind,
Yes.
and go out there and price your stuff at a market level, not an hourly level, right? Like I can change lives. How much is that worth, Rosalind? It's certainly worth more than $9.97.
That's right.
If you
Oh my
actually
gosh.
change lives, right?
Yes. Think about it like an energetic package. That's what I like to, how I help people with pricing is what is the transformation? Like, how much money is that worth to people? It's priceless. It's not an hourly thing. This is, and me being a former registered psychologist where we do charge dollars for hours, this was such, like personally for me, James, this was such a huge shift in mindset. Like I was like, what? Can I do that? Who's going to come see me? Because they could go see a psychologist. Like, why would somebody pay more money for, and it really wasn't the same thing, but because I was in such, a place of transition. I was trying to figure out how am I different than my psychologist self when I'm a self-love coach? And that's what my coaching business was when I first started. And I couldn't really see. So thank God for my mentor and my mastermind. Like I could really, they helped me tweak it out and asked me questions so that I could be more clear for myself. And so once I made that transition and got that clarity, then I could see clearly. And then I could charge and feel good about charging for my energetic transformational packages rather than session by session. So, yeah, I feel like that was really important to share. And this is a very important conversation for many practitioners to hear.
Yes, and may I add, I'm just gonna, I would like the opportunity to add on to it because this is important. I'm trying to think about how to phrase it. If you saw me, I would be looking down and sort of pondering, right? So this is what it is. Okay. Remember that angel empowerment practitioner I spoke about. Okay. Why do people see her? People see her because they are lost, because they are stuck, because they're scared. And it's her gift and her personality that say, come on in and I will make things better. Right? And that's a huge point that I want to leave with you, right? So people have to acknowledge that they have a problem, and in their vulnerable, authentic, I am about to fall off cliff, they approach you. They approach you because you have something special. So that's why I'm saying with marketing, it has to reflect you, right? Does that make sense? It's like if you had to get people from one side of the cliff to the other side, how do you get them across? Well, you can build a bridge and lead them across. Yes. You can also catapult them. You can also choose a slingshot. You can also choose a rocket pack. You can give them wings. You can give them a hang glider. You can give them a trampoline, right? And so there's different people who are going to resonate with different people who can help them. And that's what I'm saying is be the amazing you, because your tribe is out there waiting for you to realize you have something to give the world. And when you realize that, they are going to come.
1000%. It's like all the different ways that I love this. Like you're listing all these different possibilities of how we can show up to support our clients, but it's based on who we are and how it would feel like fun in this container with your clients.
Yeah, it's interesting. One of the first things that we do, Rosalind, is for the first 4 weeks of my 12-week program, we actually sit down and we don't do anything other than thinking about the gifts that we bring to our clients and our superpower, if you want to call it, our gifts, our whatever it is, and we figure out how we're going to wrap messaging and marketing around that. And the reason why I say that is a third of the program. The other 2/3 is all like implementation, but it's so important that we get that part right first. And I'm going to tell you something else. Most people what they think their superpower or their gift is actually not. It's actually deeper than that, and that's just the symptom of whatever their deeper superpower actually is.
I love that so much. My heart is so happy listening to this because seriously, James, I'm not kidding you. That's very much how I start my Client Attraction Academy as well. It's all about the alchemy of who you are, like the alchemy of your personality, your strengths, your energy, what you're passionate about, what you're good at. And it's just like, that's so important. And in my experience with my clients, the very thing that they're trying to hide, you might notice this in yours too, is that it's literally that thing that actually they need to put out there. That they think, oh my God, people are gonna judge me. I'm like people are gonna think I'm weird. This is gonna totally repel people. I feel like if this part of me gets found out, people are not gonna like what I'm offering. They're not even gonna respect me. Nope. That if you're feeling this way, listeners, that's your magic.
Yes.
I'm gonna say it
Yes,
again.
absolutely.
That's your magic.
I'm gonna ditto everything that Rosalind said.
I'll say one more thing. Anchor this in. Remember that we are not for everybody. This is what makes you stand out, like the lighthouse, and you're turning on your lighthouse, and so that your soulmate clients can see you.
Yes, absolutely. The faster you figure that out, the faster you, I don't know how to say this otherwise, dump dead weight.
Yes.
Right? And please, and this goes beyond the marketing. Please stop communicating with people who don't support you and who don't build you up. Because when you stay in there and you try to justify it, like this is the honest to goodness truth, is we change what we say and who we are based on people who we don't even like. And it sounds silly saying it, and you probably are nodding your head right now, and I know some of you are, because that is the honest to goodness truth, and we all do it. So the faster you realize that those people don't serve, the faster your business is going to build, and then you've got nothing to lose, team, and you are going to win this game. And that is the first step of courage, right? Courage is not the absence of
Yes.
fear. Courage is being afraid and doing the
Yes.
darn thing
Doing it.
anyways.
Yes. Yes. Oh, James, we speak the same language. I love this so much. Um, I'm really curious. Like, this is going to be more of a personal question for you. You are male and you are an Asian male. Now, we know that in our culture, like emotions are like, you just don't show anything. And at least that was
It's
the
true.
way I was, like in my environment, it was just like, it's more about your doingness, your status, your titles, how successful you are. It's a doing, doing, doing. That's like my pain came from thinking I was valued in the doing rather than the being who I
Yes.
am. And so I never felt like I was enough, like I was doing enough. So it was like this overachiever, perfectionist, and super hardcore type A thinking I need to be this way. So I'm really curious, how did you, and we may need to like have you share and then pause for commercial and then come back and share a little bit more, but how did you become who you are?
That's a great story. I would love to share. It's an important one because we have to embrace who we are. And Roz, do you want me to give you pause for commercial?
Yeah, let's do that. And when we come back, I'll remember this, James. We won't forget.
All good.
Free your mind. Expand your soul. Om Times Radio. IOM FM.
Om Times Magazine is one of the leading online content providers of positivity, wellness, and personal empowerment. A philanthropic organisation, their net proceeds are funneled to support worldwide charity initiatives via Humanity Healing International. Through their commitment to creating community and providing conscious content, they aspire to uplift humanity on a global scale. Connect at omtimes.com. Om Times, creating a more conscious lifestyle.
My name is Victor Furman. Some call me the Voice. I've always been fascinated with human nature, spirituality, science, and the crossroads at which they meet. Join me Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern on Om Times Radio, and we'll explore these topics and so much more on Destination Unlimited.
If I could be you,
and you could be me,
for just 1 hour.
if you could find a way,
to get inside
each other's mind.
walk a mile in my shoes.
Walk a mile in my shoes.
Walk a mile in my shoes.
We've all felt left out. And for some, that feeling lasts more than a moment. We can change that. Learn how at belongingbeginswithus.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Walk a mile in my shoes.
All right, welcome back. So, James, please share with us. Usually, this is the first question I ask my guests, and I love that we're just totally being so organic with this. What's your why? Like, how did you become who you are and just realize the importance of showing up as who you are?
Okay, I am happy to answer that question. And do you want me to actually, I'm gonna weave this together. So I'm gonna answer two questions, two stories in one go.
So good.
Okay. Before the break, we were talking about how I got over my Asianness of doing, which is a thing. Okay, if you grew up in an Asian community, you're always doing, you're always busy. Hard work is the ultimate sign of status, I guess if you want to call it that. And the harder you work, the more people are impressed. And it is a silly thing. Please don't do that. Okay. I think a big part of my journey is realizing that I am my own person and my parents are not always right. And that sounds really consciously like an easy thing to say. Subconsciously, it is one of the most difficult things you can say. And you have to remember, I grew up in a place called Burlington in Ontario in Canada, which is like the whitest suburb back in the 80s. And so, having a last name Lam, Lam. That's a funny name. Isn't that an animal? Why is it so Asian? You know, so you get to and you have to remember movie characters at the time were all, the Asians were always scientists and you know, quote unquote geeks. And this is the paradigm that I grew up with. And so part of growing and getting out of that shift is acknowledging that my parents are not always right, and the paradigms are not always right, and the story I'm telling myself is not true. And that is the reason why I have LAM, Look Ahead Marketing, is an acronym. So it's turning, we were talking about this before, it's turning that perceived weakness into my strength, Rosalind. Right? I am putting it out there right away. This is me, and I'm proud of who I am, and it took a while to get there, but that is it. So that is one of the things. Now, the second question you asked is, what's my why, which is always really interesting. I am really good at what I do, and that's the truth. And I am really good at what I do because I have failed so many times, and I know what it's like to be there. I know what it's like to have, whether you're Asian or not, to try to outwork the situation and you can't. To have no way out, to be stuck. One of the things Rosalind didn't tell you is, as I went to the University of Alberta and I have 2 master's degrees, I have an MBA and a Master of Engineering. The other thing she's not telling you is that I graduated at the top of my class. I was the best student. So out of that, I could have been making $250,000 a year in a salary. And I chose, you know, a little while later to be an entrepreneur. And people are like, why? That's silly. And if you set that expectation of you're going to do really well, and you have that background in Asianness, I don't know how to say it otherwise, right? then you know, when you are failing, and make no mistake, I was losing thousands of dollars a month in that franchise that now is very successful. I was losing thousands of dollars a month, and then you're failing, and you try to work harder, and I understand what it's like to be in what I call the muck, to have no options, to desperately try strategy to strategy to see it fail over and over and over again. And I think, Rosalind, my gift to this world is going through that and helping people avoid that. Because that is a terrible place to live.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like you're speaking into the hearts of many right now that on some level, whether you're Asian or not, most of us grew up in some form of culture where it's like, you got to be this way, you got to behave this way. And I know so many adults who are so still locked up in pleasing and showing up a certain way that's not truly who they authentically are. They have all these masks because they're afraid. They're afraid to be themselves, or else they're really risking disapproval.
Yes.
And usually that's inner child stuff, disapproval from your family members, from your parents.
Yes. We actually saw my parents a few weeks ago, and every time I do that, I have to go through a detox. It sounds silly. It sounds silly, but I have to take up my journal, or I have to go for a walk, or I have to, look, just listen to myself speak about how they're not always right, how I am here for myself and my family and the people who need me, and that is a very powerful thing in of itself.
Yes, 1,000%. I love that you just are so honest about that. And I feel like our listeners, some of them can really, you're giving them permission to, okay, I can be myself. It's not easy, but I always say, like, if you don't bet on yourself, and it takes so much energy to hide who we really are. Oh my God, it takes so much energy. That's why there's so much weight. And it's not easy. It's simple, but it's not easy to move through and peel those masks off and know that your purpose is not to please others. Your purpose is not to keep playing small. You're here to live and create impact and influence and monetize on your calling. That's your birthright.
Yes. And every time you please, you steal. You steal from your family. You steal from your soul. You steal from yourself. You may not see it. You may just see it as, oh, this one time I'll do that. you are stealing energy and belief and confidence from the person you truly are.
Oh, James, that just, holy shit. When you put it that way, you're stealing. Nobody likes to be stealing. At least I hope. I don't think we're attracting people who want to steal. But we are energetically, we're stealing from ourselves. And we're robbing ourselves of an epic life and of beautiful energy that can be so much more expansive. Like, I'm sure you see this, James. As soon as your clients give themselves permission through you coaching with you and being in this incredible, your incredible community, it's like, holy shit, this is proof that there's a group of people right here in front of me who believe in me, who like me, who are resonating. They may not need your services, but they resonate with your message because they're resonating with you. These are your people. Yes. And if this group resonates with you, how many people are there out in the world? There's going to be more people like this group. And it's your job, it's your sacred responsibility to show up as you so that you can be that lighthouse to attract your soulmate clients.
Yes, absolutely, right? It's also the reason why finding community is so important, Rosalind. Mm-hmm. And when I mean finding community, I don't mean friends that you've had from high school. Sorry, it's true, right?
Agreed.
I know it's harsh. I know it's harsh to hear, and you are reliving old paradigms that you need to shift if you are ever going to grow, right? There's actually, and I don't know, there's actually a scientific thing where the brain actually changes to be like one of the 6 people you hang out with. Does that make sense? So those people, the 6 people who you hang out, who are you close with, who you spend most time with, your brain actually changes to actually be like a chameleon in that group. So the 6 people you hang out with, look, if you're on mission, make them good and inspiring. Make them amazing. Listen to Rosalind all the time. Just go back and listen and find a mentor that can help you. Find a community that can lift you up to the person you can be, not someone who is going to get jealous at you getting ahead because they are insecure.
And that is not, yeah, exactly. That's like when you're putting your focus on what am I trying to say? I'm as you're listening to you, James, I'm just like having all these stories come up. Okay, let me try again. When you really show up as you, people are going to fall away, and that's okay. Ascension is a real thing. People who don't vibe at the same level, who don't, it's like almost not fulfilling anymore. And it feels heavy when you think about picking up the phone to talk to that person. Does anyone pick up the phone anymore? I do. I still do. But, or to make plans with that person. And it's just like, you know what? Forget it. It's really important to move on and vibe with people that lift you up. I have a girlfriend actually, and she came into my life during COVID times actually, just, when the first lockdown, and got to know each other. And she's been on the podcast. She's my makeup artist she's incredible. But I introduced her, of course, to my soul sisters, my circle. And she would always leave uplifted and so much more energetic after these girlfriend chats. And her husband even noticed. And that's and you just kind of don't know what you don't know until you meet the people. And being in a community that resonates with you is everything. Yes. You leave feeling uplifted, expansive, more creative, new ideas, downloads, validation, like so much. And then, James, I know your community serves your people in exactly this way. Can you share a little bit more? And I think I would just want to point out, this is so cool. I mean, you and I were very similar. As people are listening, it's just like, holy shit, people could see this. If you're in lack mindset, you could see this as Roz and James are competitors. And when you're in abundance mindset, not at all. It's like, yes, like I know somebody who's so much like me, and yet we're not the same. And that's a beautiful thing about it. People are going to resonate with, maybe resonate with both of us, but how the alchemy of each of us is different. And that's a beautiful thing, is there's more than enough room for both of us and all of us.
Rosalind, there are so many people that need what we do. Truth. Right? And if you love Rosalind, work with Rosalind. If you love me, I'm going to invite you to work with me. There's a few different ways to do it, right? But
please, let's go right into that.
Yes, that is the truth. Is get out of trying to do it yourself. No one can do it yourself. No one can do it themselves. You can't. It is actually, the more I look at the people who around us, Rosalind, and the people who are really successful, they can't do it themselves. Right? They need mentor and guide and cheerleaders and support people, and and the easiest and fastest way to do this is to get guidance from a mentor, and make no mistake, paying for it is just an energetic transfer that you are going to sit down and listen. You're going to sit down and listen to them, and there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, every single person. So this is the truth, right? Let me tell you how powerful this is. So the first cohort I ever ran of Superpowered Business Success, way back in the day, and April of last year. So it wasn't that far. But it feels like way back in the day. And we had 17 register, and I gifted one because they were not for profit and they were really struggling for money. And I was like, okay, I'm going to do this. Guess who never showed up? That one. The one who I gifted it to. And that's how powerful this is. And the other ones went on to make thousands of dollars. So this is where it is, okay? So look, team, I work with people who are community-minded, who want to be supportive, who have an inspiring message that needs to get out to the world. That's who I work with. And if that's you, I'd love to have you join me in a couple ways, okay? One of them, and the easiest one, is just to, I have a gift for you that Rosalind knows about. I have a gift for you, and I'm going to just give it to you. There's a link, and Rosalind, I'm not sure how this works, but there's a link.
In the show notes,
Okay, I'm going to include here, and that is yours. I actually charge $15 for it. It's probably worth closer to like $500 worth of knowledge, and I'm not joking. That's not inflation. This is some of my best stuff on building your online profile and the person who you are, so everybody sees it, and the audience that you're actually going to attract. Okay. The other thing, and I would love to invite you into this, so ears up for a second. I have a 5-day journey. I only do these once every 3 months, and the truth is, I think it's going to go away at some point in time, but I would love you to join me. And the 5-day journey, it's called 5 Transformations to Bring You and Your First 100K to Your Super Business. The short story is you're going to come up with 5 paradigm shifts, one based on each day, and we start building a business around you. You need to understand that you need to start doing that, and I'm giving you 5 distinct things to do. It's completely free. We do small group coaching if that's your jam, and if not, that's okay. There's pre-recorded stuff as well. But come and join me and take a chance. Like I said, you cannot do this on your own. I can't do this on my own. Rosalind can't do this on her own. That's why we have such a tight friendship, right? So this is one of the ways I can get you seeing what can be. If you show up over and over and over as your best self, what can this be? And this, my friends, is your ticket. So again, that's going to be in the show notes. And it starts September 27th. It's completely free. I'd love you to join.
Thank you so much, James. Yes, you guys are, if you're vibing with James and you're like, this is just a little taste of his energy, wait till you get into his containers in this 5-day journey. Again, I'll leave the link in the show notes on Apple iTunes, as well as Om Times Radio. And if you're watching this on YouTube, on there as well. There's going to be lots of different ways. So I just want you to all just breathe into what's the one thing that's standing out for you. And my hope is that it really is about you showing up authentically in all the quirkiness and all the ways that you've been trying to hide. This is your permission to unleash who you really are into the world and watch how life in your business truly shifts. Breathing that in. Just going to seal this in with a light language. Morakia, morakoratia, ninekia, morakoratia, na koratia. Breathing that in. You are worthy to live in your soul's purpose. Morakoratia, norakoratia. Moratia, morakira karatua nakia. Breathing that in and out. You can also find James on Facebook as well as LinkedIn and Instagram, right, James?
Yes, that's right. And I need Instagram followers, so follow me.
Look Ahead Marketing is James' handle. And again, everything will be in the show notes. Thank you so much, James. This was so much fun.
I love this, and I appreciate if you're listening, and you're amazing, and Rosalind, you're amazing. So thank you.
You're amazing too. Thanks, love.